Hi there, I'm Pennie Hunt, and this is Pennie Heart to Heart. I come to you with these little snippets of videos talking to you about my writings. And today we're going to talk about the one I posted last week called Carefree. I wrote it because someone said to me that they knew how to be carefree really well. And I started thinking, I'm not so sure I do. So I started wondering why it is that I don't feel like carefree would be a word that would describe me. I think that, sorry, let me adjust this just 1 second. Anyway, I don't think I would be described as somebody who is carefree. And that might surprise you because I fancy myself the happiness lady. I teach people how to love your life. I teach you how to be happy no matter what has happened in your life or is happening around you. But I started thinking about my life and why I don't think that carefree would be something that would describe me. Good morning, Lori. I see your post. Thanks for joining me today. And so I went all the way back in my life and I realized that I was raised in a military family. You've heard me mention this before. And I think this might be a common scenario for people in military families, that we were expected as children to not only behave and be structured, but our whole world was structured. So we were expected to produce and do things that maybe normal kids didn't do. For example, both of my parents worked back at a time when a lot of moms didn't work. And so both of my parents were gone very early in the morning, and I was the baby of 3. We were expected to get up, do our own breakfast, do the dishes, get ourselves dressed, get our lunches ready, and walk to school all on our own at an age that would probably not be appropriate today. You wouldn't think of doing that today, but we were expected to do that. On weekends, we didn't sleep in, we didn't lay around, we helped clean house, we had chores. So we were expected to be doing something. I do remember, I did have a childhood. My brother and I and sister, we would go out and play, and we had a lot of fun. We'd go to the pool daily, and we did a lot of kids things. But I think the other piece of that, where we were expected to do things and had a list of things to do and accomplish, was part of my upbringing. And so I learned to value that. I learned to value being productive. I learned to value accomplishing. And I think that's one of the reasons that the word carefree is hard for me to do, to just go out and say, oh, I'm just carefree, and not have anything in my mind to think about, just to let life go. And I just kept adding, as I went through my life, other reasons that I believe carefree is not something that I would be described as. So I started thinking about it, and I wrote that piece, and since then I have been trying very hard to come up with pieces of time in my life where I practice being carefree. I've even been saying it. The other day I walked through the kitchen and I said to my husband, I'm just really carefree right now. And I really believe that words have power. So when you start saying things out loud, you start acting in a certain way, that your mind hears it and you start believing it. And so, no, I'm not perfect at it. I haven't mastered it in 1 week, but I am trying to. So I wanted to share this with you, and I wanted to encourage you to, if you're like me and you wouldn't consider yourself a carefree person, to try to practice little snippets of time to be carefree. It might seem like work at first because, again, now I've got another thing on my list to do. But I think it is so important, and as I said in the writing, I don't think it's something we should try. I think it's something we must have in our life, especially now, especially as fast as the world is turning and moving around us and all the obligations and responsibilities that we have. We need to have moments in our life, spaces of time, where we can just be carefree and do what we want to do, play like a child, or even if it's reading a book. But see, my issue was I could do those things, but I always had a list in my mind of things that were on the back burner, that as soon as I get this fun time done, then I have all these other things to do. So if we can practice a time when we experience these moments of being carefree without having all that busyness in our mind, I think that's the definition. I think that's the definition of really being free of cares, free of worries, free of responsibilities. And it might be in the same way that you work up to meditation. You hear me talk about meditation a lot. You don't have to sit for 30 minutes and meditate the first time. You can do it for 30 seconds or 3 minutes and then work your way up. So even if you have 1 minute of carefree joy in your life where nothing is filling your mind with worries and responsibilities, you've accomplished it. And then try to do it 2 or 3 times a day, or try to do bigger spaces so that when you are with somebody enjoying something fun, that you can really pull your mind to that space of being carefree where nothing is bothering you, nothing is in it. And even if you have big concerns in your life, big responsibilities and big worries, practice being able to just disjoint from that just for a little moments and be carefree. Let your heart feel carefree for just little moments of time. That is what I wrote. Yes, Ron, that is a perfect word, isn't it? Carefree, free of cares. So I just wanted to pop in and talk to you about my writing. If you haven't read it yet, as always, the link is with this video. You can go there. As always, there's audio with it if you'd rather listen. And I would love to hear from you how you incorporate being carefree into your life. Or if you're one of these lucky people that have had the ability to feel carefree your whole life and it just seems normal to you, I would love to know how that came to be. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll be posting a new writing tomorrow. And then I'll pop back on with another video because I'm excited to share with you what I wrote about, which is very different than being carefree. So you'll have to join me for that one. I wish you a happy day. I thank you so much for joining me. This has been Pennie Heart to Heart. Thanks for watching.